welcome to your advanced part of the core work series. So this is the last session we've got. It's going to be the most intense one, but something I would say is going throughout it, make sure that you keep a good form. If you find it too difficult, if your form starts to go, it's better to take a break, it's better to stop and reform, as it were, rather than push through it in bad shape, because you may really injure yourself, cause yourself some pain, and it's not what this course is about. This course is about giving you options to work your core at the level that works best for you. So it's going to be short. I can't promise it's going to be sweet, so let's get right into it. So to begin with, I'd like you to lie on your back, roll yourself down, one vertebra at a time, and we're just going to warm up by doing some very slow crunches for the upper part of our abs. So from here, make sure that you've got that pelvis tilt that we've spoken about. It's as if you're kind of tipping your pelvis upwards towards the ceiling, your feet are pushing down into the floor, your hands are by your shoulders, by your ears even, and you feel as though all of this is kind of coming in towards one another. And from here, keeping your spine nice and long, so not just crunching your neck, you're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, you're going to roll the top part of your shoulders down to the tips of your shoulder blades, up until you start to tremble, and back down slowly. Breathe out, so you're looking at a kind of diagonal to the ceiling, and keeping your arms by your head makes it a little bit more difficult, so if you want, you're welcome to keep your hands on your belly. Feel the abs bring in and shorten towards one another. And we're just going to do a couple more to warm ourselves up. So breathing steadily, and soon you'll feel this part start to ache a little bit. Just a little. We're only getting started. Ha ha ha. So really crunching, and as you hold towards that sort of top position, making sure you're still breathing. Going to do 5 more. 5. It's not a very big movement. 4. 3. 2. And 1. And bring your head down, bring your arms onto your belly, and give your feet a little bit of a shake. Hopefully you're already working up a bit of a sweat. That's good. And now you're going to bring yourself up so you're sat on your bum with your feet in the same position. So there's a couple of ways you can get there. You can either just use your hands to pull yourself up, or you can place your hands on your hamstrings and roll around and use that motion to bring yourself onto your feet. So once you're here, we're going to go into something called jackknives. Jackknives, probably. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to extend out into a dish shape. So we're in this kind of hollowed out position where our core makes full contact with the mat, and then bring it back into this sort of shorter motion. So I'll show you what it looks like. You breathe out, you extend yourself out, and as you breathe in, you bring everything back into a ball. Out, so you're in this kind of dish. You're not extending all the way, flopping over, and then yanking yourself back up. You're kind of keeping that tension in the core throughout. So be careful of things around you. If you want to make it harder, bring the arms above the head. And this is advanced. Why not make it harder? Breathe in whatever rhythm works for you. Out on the crunch, or in on the crunch. But just keep breathing. Building up a lot of heat, a lot of movement. And again, the lower you bring your feet when you're extending out, the harder it's going to be to bring yourself back up. And I'd like you to just bring your awareness to your chin. Are you sort of crunching everything in? Or are you dropping your head way back? Can you find a sweet spot in the middle, as if your spine were an extension that was going straight through the crown of your head? Then where would your head be? If there wasn't any tension at all, in the neck. And when you bring yourself up, you can either hug your knees for a little break, or you can keep your arms hovering, and that will challenge your balance more because you'll need to stay balanced properly. And I've been rabbiting on, and without you knowing it, we've already done quite a few. So let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and you're going to hold this dish shape. I'm sorry, that was mean of me. So make sure your back is in full contact with the floor. You're trembling, it hurts. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Give yourself a little breather. Bring your feet onto the floor. Take them to the left, to the right. Catch your breath for a second. And when you're ready, you're going to clear your throat. And we're going to go into our next exercise, targeting our obliques. So you've probably done this one before. It's bicycle crunches, and it's horrible. No other word for it. So, again, making sure you've got some space in front of you. You're not going to kick any plants over. You're going to bring your hands in this little sort of cradle right behind the nape of the neck, so your head is supported. If you want the harder option, bring your hands onto your ears, but notice that it may take a little bit more strain in your neck, so it's up to you, whatever works best. And you're going to twist over to one side with that elbow, so it's not just my elbow moving, it's the whole of my shoulders, my chest that's going over to the side, and it's going to meet the opposite knee, as close as you can get it. If they touch, great. If they don't touch, equally great. And then you're going to extend the other leg out. And keeping that contact of the core, keeping that pelvis tucked in, you're going to swap. And swap. Exhale as you twist. Make sure you're bringing that upper back off of the mat. Make sure again you're not crunching through your neck, but kind of in a nice sweet spot. And this works your whole core. Aren't we glad to hear it? So we're just going to keep going. Again, if you notice your form is going, it's better to reset, take a second, and do it properly, rather than persevere in bad form, which may lead to injury. We don't want that. Nothing worse than having like a strain in your back or a strain in a big muscle that keeps you upright, because you notice it in everything you do. It's not like an arm injury where, well, you just try not to use that arm. You use your back for everything. After that little rant, make sure you're bringing each of those elbows over and up, and you're pushing through your core, keeping contact to the mat. Everything around your middle should feel pretty horrible right now, but in a good way. Tell yourself you're going to feel amazing after this is done. So just keep going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to go back to that dish shape. I know, it's so mean. If this is hard, bring your legs higher up. If you want to feel the burn, bring them down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring them in. Have a little breather. Ponder why abs are so difficult. I think it's because your lower abs especially have to hold up the weight of your legs, and your legs are really heavy. There you go, problem solved. So, from here we're going to take a break. So from here your feet are flat on the floor. You're going to extend one leg so that your thighs are on the same line. Doesn't matter if your leg isn't perfectly straight, it can be a bit bent. But the idea is your leg is pointing not directly up to the ceiling, it's pointing at a diagonal. From here, you're going to think about walking your hands up your leg, and you're going to bring your chest up so you're sat in a sort of V-sit position. So let me demonstrate. Breathe in,
And as you breathe out, curl the top part of your back up, find that leg and walk yourself up. You'll notice that my foot on the floor took off because I was struggling to balance. As much as possible, keep that foot rooted onto the floor and just use your core to walk yourself up. And this is super hard. Everybody on Instagram makes it look super easy. But what you're aiming for is the core to bring you up, to help you walk up that leg. And you're doing it all with the strength of your core. And when you get to the top, make sure, be honest with yourself, that you're not sort of just hanging off by your arms, you're really pushing your chest through and coming back down one vertebra at a time. So bring yourself up, nice and straight, chest open, and back down, and up, and back down, and we're going to swap sides. You've got to do both legs in life, can't do one leg, unless you only have one leg. Anyways, so from here with your thighs extended, same deal, you're going to push into that supporting foot, you're going to push your core flat against your spine, and walk yourself up, and not unstick that bottom foot from the floor, but if you do, I won't tell. And chest nice and open, nice and proud. And because we're doing this side by side, you'll get a little bit more into the side abs, would you believe it? But this motion of crunching up is also really good for your core all around. So again, can you bring your attention to your neck and stare at that big toe of your extended leg? You're not looking down because that will put extra strain on your neck. You're not looking straight up because you're going to crunch it. So just a nice in-between point. It's as if you're gracefully rising from your sleep, like, ah, I'm awake, kind of thing. Of course, I don't think anybody who does that is like, ah, first thing I'm going to do in the morning is a crunch. Anyways, 3 more. 1, and 2, and 3. Right, bring yourself down, bring your feet to the floor, give yourself a shake from one side to the other, then extend the legs out long and give them a little wiggle. We're now ready to go into our penultimate section, which is for our lower abs, this part that hurts. I could read your excitement all the way through the screen. So, on that note, you're going to bring yourself up with your feet on the floor. You're going to lean back so you feel your core engaged, and you may need to adjust this once you bring your legs off the floor. Bring your legs off the floor so you're in that kind of dish shape, and you're going to cross. Just crossing casually, one leg over the other. Again, the harder you make it, the lower you bring those legs, the lower you bring your body, looking up at the ceiling, starting to burn. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your legs down. Now we're going to do the same thing, but up and down. So again, brace yourself so you're in that sort of dish position, looking up at the ceiling, and just flutter your legs up and down, squeezing through your glutes. And I hate this one, so we're only going to do 10, 9, 8, it's as if you're swimming, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Can you feel the sweat? From here, we're going to go into our penultimate exercise, which you'll be pleased to hear about. Bring yourself so you've got one foot flat on the floor and one leg straight. Bring yourself up so that you can interlace your hands behind your hamstring and extend that other leg out long. And that angle will very much depend on you. You may be able to bring it all the way down. You maybe bring it to here, your legs may be a little bit bent. You're going to pulse the leg towards you, the one that you have your hands around. Pulse and swap. Pulse and swap. Pulse and swap. And just keep going. What could go wrong? Abs. Abs could go wrong. And if you want, you can grab the calf. If you have tight hamstrings, keep the angle quite close. If your hamstrings are okay, you can just keep going. Pulse towards you, swap, pulse, swap, pulse. And now we're going to go faster. Swap, 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 swap. 10, 9, 8, 7, look at those toes. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down, bring it in. Stretch your neck out, roll to one side and the other. Then bring your hands behind your head and slowly tip your skull forwards so you get a nice stretch down the back of the neck. And just stay here for a second. And we're going to go into our final exercise. Yay! So, you're going to bring your legs straight up above your hips. We're going to do a reverse crunch. So from here, you're going to use your core to lift your hips off the floor. But this isn't a use your arms and go kind of movement. It's really little because all you're using is your core. If your legs bend a little, that's fine. You're not pushing into the arms. You can test it by just lifting them off the mat, off the floor. And it's just all those muscles bringing in as you get there. That lifts your hips off the floor just a little bit. And we're finishing with this. We're going to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Bring your feet to the floor. Bring your feet so they're close to your seat. Bring your hands by your side and slowly peel the back off the mat, vertebra by vertebra. And feel the nice stretch down the front of the body. And look straight up at the ceiling. Bring your body to the ceiling. And your chin off your chest. And then roll back down. You're going to flip over onto your stomach. I'm going to flip that way. And then from here, when you're lying flat on your stomach, you're going to stretch out those abs, either by bringing your elbows onto the floor, your forearms, and look straight up in front of you to get a nice stretch down the front here. And if you want more, push the top of your feet into the floor, squeeze your glutes, protect your back, and extend out onto the palms of your hands. If you bring them closer in, make sure you're bringing your hips off the floor as well. Have a little sway. Look over one shoulder, over the other shoulder, and push it all back to child's pose. You can get there from your forearms as well. Bring your hips onto your heels. Bring your forehead onto the mat. And take a little breather. Then bring yourself up slowly. Roll the head so it's the last thing to come up. And you're done. Thank you so much for coming with me on this journey for core work. So we've got 4 sessions, 1 beginner, 2 intermediate, and today was the advanced. You can do these as often as you want, as brave as you're feeling, and hopefully it helps you become friends with your core again. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you very soon.